What's up, guys? So, got a question for you, a little food for thought. And I'll preface all of this by saying, got to give kudos to Zombie Farmer for planting this little nugget in my head and making me start going, this is an interesting point or path to mentally travel down. So, Zombie Farmer, thanks for the idea. The markets, the economy, businesses, etc., relatively generally speaking, love President Trump. There's no denying where the stock market and stuff has went since President Trump's been in office. There's no denying what businesses have been doing since the President's been in office. So economically, in the broad picture, the economy really likes President Trump. What happens if President Trump loses the 2020 election? What happens if he not only loses the election, but were to lose to one of these absolute, way over yonder socialist communists that are running, who are the polar opposite economically of what he's been trying to do? What will the markets do? What will businesses do? What will the economy overall do? There's no doubt in my mind it's going to respond. The question is, how does it respond to something like that? And then to what extent does it go in response? I'll put that in y'all's heads to think about it. Because if you get some communist or socialist that wins, businesses will automatically start locking down the purse strings. You will see, in my semi-educated opinion, you will see the economy grind to a screeching halt almost instantly. The question will beg at that point, do things start to go in reverse? And then if they do, how fast do they go in reverse, and how far do they go, how quickly? Because I can envision in different scenarios where the brakes get thrown on, it gets slammed in reverse, and somebody stomps on the gas pedal, and it goes in reverse so fast that before anybody realizes what's happened, it's out of control and hits the point of no return where there's no stopping it. It's backing off the cliff, and about the time people realize what's happening, the back tires are already in the air and the front tires are fixing to drop off. I could easily see multiple different scenarios of that happening economically. That's something that I've thought about similar things, but not specifically down this avenue and down this trail. But if President Trump loses, what will the overall general economy do? And I think that's going to depend on who he was to lose to and how rabid of a socialist communist he loses to. There are varying levels of that insanity amongst all the candidates that are running. If we get one that's on the lower end of the insanity spectrum, it probably won't be as bad a reaction as one that's on the higher end of that insanity spectrum. Mind you, they're all on it. It's just the level that they're at. But the economy doesn't like things like that. That would not be, it wouldn't be subtle. In other words, I don't think past presidential elections have been as dramatic in their scale as what this one could be. Okay? Generally in the past, Republicans, Democrats. You've got the middle, and you've got the Republican, and you've got the Democrat. And they're usually, so it's not, again, relatively speaking, that big of a swing one way or the other, right? But never before in our history have we had as many communists and socialists in varying parts of the government, including Congress, to the level that we do now. Never before have we had as many of these absolutely insane communists and socialists running for presidential office as we do right now. If you start adding all that insanity together, that could potentially be a catastrophic storm brewing. Not a certainty. You know, I don't like dealing in certainties with some exception. But I think that's a very strong potential, and now that I've got it in my head, that's probably going to be stewing on me for some time to come, watching how things get. I think you would be wise to start watching different aspects of businesses in the economy as we start approaching the election next year, especially once the campaigns start going strong and heavy. If we start seeing some of the ones on the higher end of the insanity scale start pulling to the forefront of the Democrat Party, which is a complete farce anyway, then start watching. If businesses start getting afraid that one of those might win, let's see if things start getting sphinctered up real fast. If businesses start cutting off expenditures, money flow, purse strings tighten, and all of a sudden spending stops as everyone's kind of holding their breath in anticipation of what may or may not happen. That in and of itself can be bad. You've got the economy barreling like it is right now. Just slamming on the brakes can cause things to go out of control. It's like a freight train. You got to slow those things down gradually. That's a lot of mass and momentum to just suddenly lock up the brakes on. So kudos to Zombie Farmer for bringing that little point up and putting it in my head. I thought I'd pass it on to you guys. Put that in the old cranium up there and stew on it for a little bit, and let's see where things go. Now, let me preface this by saying I'm not a rabid fan of President Trump. He's done a lot of things that I like. He's done a lot of things that I back. He's also done some things that I don't like and that I don't back. So I'm not a blind lemming, let's put it that way. I'm not afraid to be critical of the man when he does something wrong. However, I'm also not afraid to give him kudos when he does something right. So I just want to throw that in there to help, what's the right word I'm looking for? I guess preface what I just said, even though to preface it, you say it before and I'm saying it after, but you get the idea. So again, stew on that. Let's see where that goes. That might be something that I start digging a little more into and seeing what kind of general reaction is going on out there in the business world as things start getting closer. But yeah, if President Trump was to lose, a lot of this other stuff we're worrying about might be irrelevant, or it might all just come crashing in at the same time, triggered by something economically. That's always been one of the things high up on the top of my list that could go wrong, because I know how that house of cards is put together and how fragile it can be, and how domino-like it can be. So yeah, there's your happy start to the week. So have a good one, guys. Happy thoughts. Yeah. Seriously though, give us some thought, guys. Take care, and I will bring you more later.